I'm just gonna go check my stuff here, make sure we have. This would be.
We go. Let's see. Is that better? That should make me sound a whole lot better. I got a nice new mic. I want to make sure you guys can hear everything I say. So today we've got an interesting topic we're going to cover. A couple weeks ago, last week we kind of covered workshop, and we'll come back to that. As with many things, you work on something for a while, and at least me, I kind of have these fits and starts where I plow forward with a particular project for about as long as I can, and then when I hit an area where I'm like, not sure, I could kind of go both ways. I put it down, walk away, kind of come back with a clear head, and that's what I've really done with the workshop. So that's still coming. But I just had some ideas, and I want to make sure I'm giving some time to breathe. That said, one idea that I did have a lot of time to breathe was the coaching offer. So a couple weeks back, if you guys can remember, I think it was 2 Tuesdays ago, 3 Tuesdays ago, something like that. We talked about how to build a high ticket offer, and I broke down my high ticket offers and how I was going to be raising the prices. Now, I ended that almost almost perfectly because I said, well, all of this really doesn't mean a whole lot until you actually take it out and you start pitching it to people and see what their response is. And that's exactly what I did. So after we ended the stream, I had a bunch of sales calls, and I went out and pitched my wares, sold my product, put this stuff in front of people that were buyers. And what I realized was that while the program itself is great, like I definitely think it's a solid program. I don't think structurally there's anything wrong with it. There are two things that are wrong with it for me. One, the economic climate has shifted since I first launched this offer a year ago. And the new price points, which doubled essentially from last year's price points, are no longer tenable. When if I was offering this last year, I think I could have got people to sign up for it at this price point. But the thing I kept hearing over and over in the subsequent 2 weeks since we recorded that was, man, where were you guys a year ago when I had money? Where were you guys a year ago when I had money? I think what we're facing is a sharp economic downturn for middle America. The people that primarily buy my coaching plans are being hurt. They're being hurt at the grocery store. They're being hurt at the doctor's office. They're being hurt by the utility companies. They are being hurt every single day by inflation and by poor policy, governmental policies that are causing increases in taxation, and they're feeling it. And that has to factor into the picture when you're thinking of how you're going to bring a service like this to market and whether people are actually going to buy it. Because now what's happening is those same people that would have been perfect for my coaching offer a year ago when they had the money are no longer valid clients. So who is a valid client? This came into the other problem. The people that can't afford to spend that level, they're looking for agency services. They have the same kind of downward pressure in that they can't spend $5,000 a month on marketing anymore. They can only spend $3,500 a month on marketing, or $2,000 a month on marketing, or $1,000 a month on marketing, which puts now the the tension on the fact that I have two offers that compete at the same price point for the same market. And that is dangerous because now what people can say is, well, wait, so I can get everything. If I join your coaching program, I get everything that you're offering for this, but at a $500 discount. Now, that's obviously not true. But to someone in a sales pitch, when I'm walking them through, and the only difference is, well, I'm going to do in this side in the coaching, I'm going to do it with you, and on this side, I'm going to do it for you. That creates a big problem for me because people don't understand what goes into it. When I'm on a sales call, they're just looking at it as like, well, you're upcharging me for you doing it, instead of me doing it. Well, I might as well just do it with you and get the benefit. The problem is those same people that would normally buy agency services, they want things done very quickly. And a coaching program, a done with you coaching program like the one I've been running for the past 3 years, is a slower program. It's for people who have the patience to show up every day and do the work that needs to be done and ask for help when they need it and make slow and steady progress. And for 3 years, we've helped dozens, if not tens of, I don't know what the difference is, the spot is between like dozens and hundreds. But we've helped a lot of business owners go through that journey and come out the other side. And so I know it works, but it does take time. It's not a, hey, in 90 days, this is all going to be done and you're going to be, solid. You'll absolutely be on your way. You may have results within 90 days, but a lot of it is you. A lot of it is you showing up, because if you don't show up, I'm not doing anything for you in between, right? I mean, I'm answering questions, I'm there to support you, but I'm not sitting with you and doing this over, like I'm not sitting and doing your work for you like I would if you were an agency client. So therein lies the problem. I have a coaching audience over here that can no longer afford my coaching because it's too expensive, but needs coaching, willing to do the coaching, wants to put the work in. And on the other hand, I have agency clients who are looking at the coaching business and saying, well, that's priced where I need it to be. Your agency services are a little bit more expensive than I'd like. I'll just take the coaching. And here's the rub. That's got to stop. And so what I realized is, when I saw that there was this issue, I realized that I had to bisect my offers clearly to be a true low ticket offer, something that is accessible to the majority of people who are just getting started, who have that rise and grind mentality of, I'm going to go in and put in the work, and the people that really need to just buy agency services. And if they can't afford them from me, well, there's plenty of other marketers out there, but I don't want them going into the coaching program and then being disappointed, because that's not good either, right? It's not good for me to take somebody's money and for them to leave disappointed. I don't like that. So this is what we have to do. We have to take our model of high ticket coaching program and we have to modify it to make it a low ticket program. And now a lot of people look at low ticket coaching and they see it as, this awful necessity when you start, right? Well, no one's going to trust you at first. And this is where I start. Like, I'm speaking from experience. When we first started, we had no idea if marketing coaching was even a thing. I mean, there was the number of like quote unquote marketing coaches out there was like 5 that we could find. There was very few people out there that was doing marketing coaching the way we were doing marketing coaching, or the way I wanted to do marketing coaching. And so essentially we were just like, I don't know, $100 a month. Let's just try that. And so we started. That's how we built the business. We did $100 a month, $99 a month. Then we did 3 tiers: $199, $199, $399, and then it kind of grew from there. And that's where we started doing the combination of agency services and all of these other things. And if the question ever came up, well, would you ever go back to that? Now that you're saying, well, I need to, we're going to change paths. We're going to instead turn the coaching program into a low ticket program. Would you ever go back? Of course. If we go into another boom cycle and people have the money, and my agency clients are now looking and saying, well, no, I don't, I have $5,000, $10,000 a month to spend on marketing. I don't just have $1,000 a month. Then that changes the math, right? Then I can raise those prices. I can have those additional services, and those agency clients aren't looking and being like, well, I'm getting a bum deal out of this, right? Which is the whole problem. Both groups don't feel like they're getting it. That one group feels like they're paying too much and not getting enough. One group feels like they're paying too much and not getting enough. So it's this constant rub that we're facing. So we have to make this work at a low ticket offer. Now, there's a bunch of reasons why you might want to do a low ticket offer besides just getting started, besides the economy, besides the fact that, you're just, struggling to figure out what the price is of your program. One of the big reasons why low ticket works is because low ticket allows you to offer something of value, knowledge, coaching, live interaction, for relatively cheap. You don't have to put a high price on that. And because you're not putting a high price on it, you don't have to over deliver in terms of stuff, right? And that's really the strategy that I'm going to take with this program. The thing that makes the most difference in the clients I have now that are true coaching clients is that they get to come in and meet with me on a regular basis and ask me questions, and I guide them step by step through the process. There's no course, there's no accoutrement, there's no accountability group. We have a community platform where they can message and they can, put in chats and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's a very simple system. It only became complicated when I added all this agency stuff, because I was like, well, that's what people want, right? And the money was there. So why not? No longer the case. So we move on. So here's, let me just get this pulled up here. There we go. And I'll fix that here in a second so you don't have the, oh no, the screen share closed. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. And here we go. So what I'm looking at is like I did this the last time, right? We're going to start with the price points. And we're starting with the price points because I want to know what I'm getting paid for the value I'm putting out there first and foremost. Because I already have the existing packages, I know what I'm kind of cutting, right? I know where I want my price to be. If you're just starting from scratch, I wouldn't necessarily start with pricing. However, one of the pricing models that I've seen work time and time again for me and many other coaches is the 99, 199, 399 model. Now, I'm doing something a little bit different. And the reason I'm doing something a little bit different is because I believe that the value that I'm putting into the coaching program easily outstrips most of the other coaches that are charging $99. So instead, I'm going to do $199, $399, and $799. Okay. And so by having 3 tiers, obviously I'm trying to push people into the $399 group, right? That's at the end of the day, that's what I really want to accomplish here. Is I want to have the majority of people in the $399, a minority of people in the $799, and a minority of people in the $199. So the first thing is, well, how many sessions are they going to get, right? How many sessions can they attend throughout the week? Well, I think the easiest way to do it is there's 3 sessions. So we do 1, 2, 3. So 1 session, 2 sessions, 3 sessions. Okay. And you know what? If you're at the $399 and $199, I'm no longer going to force you into 1 session once a day, because what I realized is, especially with people that have come through lately, they all want different, oh, can I have Wednesday? Can I have Thursday? And it feels just really disingenuous to be like, oh no, you're a tier 1, so you can only see me on Wednesdays. Well, if that keeps someone from signing up, it's not really doing its job, right? The whole job of this is just to make sure sessions don't get overcrowded. But if I can just control it and say, well, you're coming in Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're coming in Mondays and Tuesdays, well, that's fine. So we'll just leave it blank. We're not going to worry about the days of the week or any of that. We're just going to make it simple. So 1 session, 2 session, 3 sessions, right? So what else do they get for that? Well, one of the things is I have these workshops coming up. Each, I don't know if I'm going to do them monthly or quarterly or something like that, but why don't we throw those on, right? So, they'll get live access to the workshops. Okay. And, I was thinking of some of the other things that we could do in terms of like how to teach them how to set things up. And the thing I kept coming back to is there's still a problem with technical. There's still some issues in whatever you're teaching somebody that are just going to be those like, I could record 100 videos about this and how to do this, but it's still just going to be a pain in the neck. So what I decided to do is that I'm just going to include the tech support element, right? So I'm going to give them the tools just like I give them, and I'm going to give them the tech support, but I'm not going to go and do like crazy build outs or anything like that. I think I'm going to keep it a lot more, a lot more standardized, right? So, oh, we have a message here. Let's see here. Oh no, we just have a. I think someone tried to send a message and didn't quite go through. That's all right. So then we get into, well, what are the other elements? Well, we have the community, right? And one of the things that I want to change in the community, oh, my voice is disappearing on and off again. That's weird. Like completely disappearing? Let me see. Maybe it's my mic. Can you guys hear me now? If you guys are still watching, just let me know if you can hear me clearly or if it's cutting in and out. We are having some internet issues here, so it might just be that, but let's see. Wait for someone to comment. Not hearing anything. It says the audio is coming through on my side, so I'm hoping that's a good sign. Let's see. Yeah, that all looks good. So I will assume that that is just one person's experience because I'm not seeing any other people in the chat uh throw in comments there. So anyway, so we have the next part is the community, right? So that they can that's really buggered that one up. Community. And then I started thinking about, well, what are some of the other things that are, again, I can't be involved with the customization. That's really where the issue in lies. That's the reason this was kind of falling apart on me, was because in order to do the level of customization I was doing, I needed to have fewer people in. If I had fewer people in, then I needed to phrases. I don't know what that means. Like now gone. I don't know. I think you're the only person experiencing it because I have other people in here and no one else is saying anything about my voice going in and out. So if anyone else hears that, please let me know. But until I hear otherwise, I'm just going to keep rolling. So anyway, like I was saying, the problem is I can't spend all of my time on these sessions writing content for people, which is what I used to do, right? That was part of the appeal of this, is that like you come in, I'd write an ad for you right there and on the spot. It's a great offer. Like again, I love doing it, but it can't work at scale. It can't work at these prices. So what can I do instead? Well, editing takes far less time, right? If someone already comes in with something, that makes life a little bit easier, right? So what if we said, I was going to have a suite of AI tools, right? And so you get the AI tools, and I'm just going to I'm going to train those off of stuff that already works. I'm going to train, all of the sales copy and emails and all of that stuff that I already have good results with. So it'll be a customized AI. You won't be able to get it anywhere else, but it'll be a unique thing. That way, at least when someone comes in, it starts like they have something already done, right? So I have the AI element there. Cool. Now, I think the other part of this is like the GHL thing, because has always been a very popular part of our program, is that, hey, you're going to sign up and you're going to get a Go High level account and it's free. I'm going to pay all the bills for it, except for your phone bill. You got to pay your own phone bill, but all the other cost and expense I'm going to shoulder. And not only that, I'm going to give you a lot of like templates and programs or templates and all of that kind of stuff, right? So I think one of the things that we can have in here is that can be another point of differentiation, where it's like you get GHL here, right? But here you get GHL plus templates. And here you get GHL plus templates. And so for those people at the middle tier, or the people who are considering like, can I do the $199, $399? That might be the thing that pushes them over, is that, hey, well, if I do the middle tier, it's gonna get me those templates, and that's really gonna help me is speed up my process. I'm not gonna have to build all this stuff from scratch. So it's okay if, as you're designing these columns, if you have something like the AI, like the community, like the tech, that's just available in all three, that's just a standard part of the offer, or that you have things like the 1, 2, and 3 sessions that increase incrementally on each tier. But it's also okay to just have something that at the lowest tier is not included, but the higher tiers are included. So, I mean, all of that really comes down to you figuring out who is the buyer for each of these products, right? And what do they really need? I know that my buyer for a $199 coaching package probably has more time than money. And when someone has more time than money, it's okay to give them some additional legwork to do in exchange for charging a lower price. And so if I say, well, I'm going to give you GHL, but I'm not going to give you the templates, right? Because the templates are valuable. We spend a lot of money designing the templates, so you're going to have to build the stuff yourself. But we'll show you how to do it, right? Same kind of deal. So now we have this is starting to look kind of valuable, right? Because if you do the math, right, they're at $199. They're meeting with me once a week, right? Say say we target for 5 minutes per person. That's like 30 minutes, 20 minutes plus, some interaction in the community. Let's say that's 30 minutes a month with a marketing consultant who's telling you exactly what you need to do to be successful. And you're getting it for $200 a month. Plus, you're getting these AI tools, and you're getting the tech support, and you're getting workshops, and you're getting that's fantastic, right? Like the workshop itself, I'm selling for $100. So right there, if I do one of those a month, it's already paying for itself. If $399, same thing, right? You're now doubling the amount of time with me. So instead, you're paying $400 to meet with an accountant for an hour, or an accountant for a consultant for an hour. And then you're getting to do it twice a week. You're getting to meet with that person twice a week. And you're still getting access to the workshops. You're still getting the tech support. You're still getting the community AI, and you're getting GHL with the templates, right? So when you add all that up, $400 a month isn't a bad deal for that. And then for those people who really want to show up at every session, well, then yeah, you have the $799. You get the extra session and all of this. Now, what I start to look at is, well, do any of these feel out of balance? Do any of these feel like I don't have enough value? And I mean, the obvious one is the $799. So I need something to add to that is going to that's going to help them, right? So like, what if I did something like we could do, thinking like the sales enablement angle, like maybe I do like and again, can't do anything custom. It has to be something that fits with multiple people. Maybe it is like a sales template thing, right? Maybe it's or maybe it's like a one-off, one-on-one, or something like that. No, I don't like that because it's reoccurring and people aren't going to want to pay for that month after month. So, I mean, I think the sales element I like, and I like the fact that I can give somebody. So maybe it's like, this doesn't have the sales element at all. This one comes with a sales call template. And this one is a customized sales call template. Now, I don't love this because this is, again, it's custom work. It's breaking that rule of making something that can scale. Right now, this is something I have to stop my day and help this one person customize their sales call template. When in reality, like this is something that, it's not hard to customize, but if I'm promising it, I have to deliver on it. And this is the challenge that you're going to consistently face when you lay these things out, is how do you give things that scale without then also taking up more of your time? And here's we're just going to put this away for a second, and I'm going to show you the benefit here, just to kind of show you the math of why. Come on, go down. A little bit of a delay. So let's think about it this way. If I want to have each person in one of my calls, right, spend 5 minutes, and my calls are 90 minutes long, right? 5 goes into 90, 180 times. Or no, I'm sorry. No, that's not right. It goes in 18 times, right? So I can roughly have 18 people on a session, each getting 5 minutes apiece, right? 18 people per session, getting attention for 90 minutes apiece, right? Now, before, I could only take 9 people per session, right? And so my number of people, so if I did, 10 minutes per session, or I'm just gonna make this a little easier for me to do the math on. So I do 9 minutes per session, and it's still the same 90-minute session, then that means that I can take 10 people. Now, if I know that roughly 50% of people are going to show up to any given session, then that means that at this level here, I can have a total of 36 people and still be comfortable, right? Because I know that, and again, this is assuming that these are 3 people a week, or 3 session a week folks, right? So say they're all at 3 sessions a week, but I'm only spending 5 minutes with each person, then I can comfortably take around 36 people. Now my workshop software actually caps it at 30, so I don't need more than that. But if you look at this, that's 10 extra people than I could do here. So let's assume the same math. Well, that's going to be 20 people that can come to this session. That's 10 spaces for people that are excess, which means my overall show up rate's only going to be around 10 people, which means I can't take as many people at the end of the day, right? I can't scale this the way I want to scale it. So what's this mean price wise, right? Well, let's take those 30 people and divide them up into those buckets above. So this is just the continuation. So we want to follow the kind of 80%, 15%, 5% rule. So if we're going to do let's just do 30 people, and we'll say, what is 80% of 30? Math was not my strong suit, guys. It was so much easier when we were using nice round numbers. Let's see. All right. So we have 30 times 0.8. And that's going to be 24 people in here. Okay. And then we have 30 times 1.5. Let's call this 5 people. And then, oh, I'm sorry. I did this wrong. This is supposed to be 5 people. And then this is 30 times 0.05. Let's call this 2 people. So this is roughly like 31, and that's okay. I could steal from one of these. Like I could say, I'm not going to take a client at this level, or I'm not going to take a client here. So why don't we just do that? We'll just make this 4 instead, and then that way we get even 30 people. So let's see what our monthly revenue is if we cap out this program. All right, so we have 4 times 24 is 9, or that doesn't work. We have 4 times 199, then plus 24 times 399, plus 2 times 799. Okay, roughly $12,000, $11,970, right? And that is, so we'll just do this just again. So these current numbers we're looking at, sorry, microphone's getting in the way here. We're looking at $11,970 in revenue each month. It's pretty good, right? That's if you do look at that over the course of a year, that's $143,000 just in a low ticket coaching program, right? If that's the only thing you're selling, that's a pretty good living. Like, yeah, you're going to have to pay out half of that to the government, depending on where you live. But 70 grand is nothing to sneeze at for doing something that, honestly, only takes me like 3 hours a day plus the time to sell it, right? And that's the big trick is, can you actually sell it? So let's go back and think about this from the perspective of say we cut this down and we said, I don't remember what our old numbers were, but let's just play with it, right? Say we were still going to do the say we were still going to do 30 people, right? And let's say we did all of that. Well, yeah, of course that's going to be a whole lot more money, but the problem is no one's going to buy it. So there's no purpose of continuing down that discussion, because if you can't sell it, well, this number doesn't matter, right? The number, whatever number I can claim to pull in, doesn't matter unless people will actually sit and buy it. So we have to look at, well, what's reasonable? What's a reasonable thing? Well, right now, at the lowest offer that I was able to recruit a pretty consistent number of people. So let's say, again, let's just go down here, new piece of paper, and say, I forget what we had the tiers at. I think it was like we had the $997, then we had $497, and then we had I think it was like 15 something, 1500, something like that. Okay. Well, if nobody signs up for this because this is too expensive, and it interacts with my agency program, and so I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. And 0 people sign up for here, and so everybody's signing up for here, and then I'm promising all of this stuff. If I can't do 30 people at this, because 30 people at this means that for every session they're paying $497. They're coming to every session, and I can't charge $497 and just have them come to one session. Like, that's not going to work, right? They have to be able to come to more than, spend more than 5 minutes with me a week in order for that price point to make sense. So I have to look at this from the perspective of, well, if I can't sell either of these and I have to dump everybody into here, and in order to make that same number, like let's look at how much that would be, right? To make let's just say 12,000 a month divided by 497, I'd have to have 24. I have to have 24 people in this program, right? Who are meeting with me 3 times a week. And then in addition, I'm also doing websites for and content and video edits and all of that stuff. And these people are never going to matriculate up to the other programs because there's no reason to, right? They're getting everything they need here. Because if you remember, the big difference, I think, was we were going to do 2 sessions. That's what it was. 2 sessions a week, 3 sessions a week. And then this was going to be like one-on-one, right? Well, the people that are signing up for this is stretching their budget so much they can't afford either of these. So they're all stuck here. They're all just trapped in this section where they're paying too much. They're paying more than they can afford for less services than they need. And that's where this all breaks down, right? And I think my business is a little bit different than a lot of people's business, because at the end of the day, if you're a life coach, if you're doing something that's like emotional or relationship based or health based, you're not working with people on an investment level where people are thinking, well, I'm going to spend this money and I'm going to get X back. It changes the math a little bit. But what doesn't change the math is that the economy is not great now. Like, it's just not. Inflation is absolutely rampant. And there's huge structural problems in our society that are preventing people from getting ahead. And so if I'm putting out these offers and I'm saying, well, I have to sell 24 people, but I have a hard enough time closing 10 people, well, there's no chance that this outperforms my low ticket model. And so even though this high ticket model has all this customization and we do all these included services and it's this mini agency and there's all these great things about it, it doesn't change the fact that the program that has been most successful for me over the past 6 months has not been the $497 flagship coaching offer. It hasn't been. It's gotten people. I have clients now in it right now. What it has been is, let's see. Come on. There we go. This is a one irritation with this, is that it scrolls a little slow. It's this. That's been my most successful. That's where I've recruited most of my people. And these people stick around. They stick around because they can afford to. And they're in the right mindset because they know, listen, for what I'm paying, I can't expect the world. I can't expect him to do all the marketing for me. But $500 feels a lot different than $200. $200, you don't go out to eat twice a month and it covers my bill. $500, that's like a car payment, man. There's a big difference there psychologically when you get someone to sign up for something that's $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. It starts looking a lot less like a nice to have and more, or much less like a must have, and looking a lot more like a nice to have. And so when there's an economic crunch, the people that are at the 497 and the 997 levels at coaching, those people start vaporizing right in front of your eyes, one after another. And we've gone through it before. Every time there is an economic downturn, we see people just disappear. People that were going strong with us for years, had great programs running, suddenly couldn't afford to make the bills because other things took priority, right? Other debts took priority. Their businesses weren't doing as well because their customers weren't doing as well. And so because of this, if you're looking to build a high ticket coaching model, like, good on you. If your audience can afford it, if you're working with people that are not impacted by the current economic standing, go for it. Like, don't let me hold you back. Like, get that money. But the reality is that for most people, the economy is affecting them. And so is it better to have a full low ticket program or an empty high ticket program? Well, I'll take the full low ticket any day of the week, because even though $143,000 a year is not what I want to be making, gross, it is a great deal of stability to know that I have people that are going to show up month after month, that we're going to slowly grow their businesses, and they're going to come in making that progress to a point where they may matriculate up. If I can help the 399 guy build a lead flow in his business and he starts actually having success, there's a good chance that he says, hey, you know what? I'm so busy now. I really need some help finding a salesperson. Can you help me with that? I have all these leads coming in, but I really need someone to sit down and do sales training. Can you do that? And so now these people actually have trajectory to move on to my higher tier agency programs. Whereas before, there was no trajectory because they were stuck. They were spending too much on my coaching. They weren't able to spend enough on the other marketing things. Marketing doesn't exist. Like, what I do doesn't exist in a vacuum. You don't pay me and then your business automatically grows. You pay me, I give you the direction. You also have to buy ads. You have to invest other assets into your business. And that's where the rub comes. So if you're thinking about running low ticket business or a low ticket coaching program, price it, I would start the 99, 190, 399. We made 6 figures in 3 months doing that. It is a very solid pricing structure. It's where I tell everybody to start when they're launching a low ticket offer, and make sure that the things you're putting in it are things that have an element of custom but are not custom. They're not things that you have to manually go in and interact with each and every person at this micro level, because that's going to make your program fall apart. It's going to cap your ability to scale it, and it's going to create a situation where now you feel like I'm getting underpaid for the work I'm doing. The whole balancing act that you have to strike really is that the people you're trying to help need to feel like what they're buying will help them. And if your people like courses, then courses should be a part of this. If your people don't like courses, don't include courses. If people want help implementing, include implementation sessions where you can help a bunch of people implement at the same time. That was another thing I'd kind of toyed with, is like, well, we have these workshops, let's tack on an implementation session at the end of it. So I think there's a lot of things here that you can add to these to really flesh them out, to make these values stand out. And that's why I'm going in this model for the coaching, is because I don't want a coaching program that only a handful of people sign up for, because that does not make that, it doesn't do me any great service to come into a coaching session with only a handful of people. I want a lively session where people can trade ideas and learn from each other and celebrate their progress. If I don't bring the prices in line with where this market is, I'm never going to have that. And so I just have to pull the right levers to get the value to match the price, to match the audience. And that's really the formula. There's no other formula to building these things besides that. So now you have it. Some other things to take into account when you're dealing with lower ticket offers. You have to have a plan to sell them, and your plan to sell them cannot be one-to-one. Trust me, I've done it. I do it. I still to this day do it. And it's not great. And it's something that I think, honestly, if I was you, I'd solve first. I'd have the plan in place of how am I going to sell this first before I go and do anything else out there. So let's just see here. I'm just going to erase this because the page isn't loading correctly. So we're just going to start fresh. So what's your system need to look like? Well, you have two systems that you can build. So system number one is you have a landing page. Landing page tells your story. And that landing page pushes to a calendar booker. And that pushes to a sales call. This is where I tell everybody to start. The reason I want you to start here is because when you're first putting this idea, you need real-time feedback. And if you're trying to convert people on a website, the number of variables that you're going to run into is going to be infinite. There's going to be millions and millions and millions of things that could go wrong anywhere between the time they click the ad and the time they see. Your targeting could be off. Your ad could be promising things your landing page doesn't deliver. Your landing page could be incorrectly loading. There's so many things that might be going wrong that you really don't want to, you don't want to go straight for, hey, let's launch an application funnel or let's launch a side up funnel. You need to do this first because this is going to give you the feedback to know, is my pricing good? Is my pricing accurate? Is the way I'm explaining accurate? Are people finding value in what I'm providing? Now, part of that is how you do your sales call. That's a topic for another day. But this phase one, let's call it, is really important. Oh, I just realized it's not showing up. Oh, it's my head again. Oh, here, hold on. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Let me fix this. We'll just move me over there for right now. There we go. And there. Oh, it still doesn't show. Oh, what's the deal with that? Oh, I see. I got it. I think I see what's going on here. It's just my screen's a little too big, and so it's cutting off. So I can fix that real quick. There we go. All right. It's not the most beautiful thing, and my face is fine. Let's fix that. There we go. Awesome. Great. That's better. So, right, landing page. This is going to be the call booker and then the schedule. Your phase two, after you've done that, you're still going to start with a landing page. Then you're going to go to an application where you get a deposit. And then you're going to do an onboarding call. Here's why we change things a little bit. So first off, we're still starting with the landing page because that's the entryway. Now, what you can do is instead of in this first thing, if you didn't want to use a landing page, you could actually use a lead ad for this instead, right? So maybe, and this is how I run my campaigns, I start with a lead ad, goes to a call booker, then I do a sales call. But let's say, for example, you were doing the landing page initially. By this point, you've gotten all the feedback from this sales call. You've taken that feedback and you've implemented it to make this thing dynamite, right? The goal is to make this sell for you. Now, on your landing page, you probably have a VSL. You have, your, details of the program. You have testimonials, right? Like all the important stuff is on this page, so that if people are interested, they're then sent to submit an application and required to make a deposit. This is huge. Your deposit should be equal to your lowest ticket plan, at least. So like for mine, my deposit will be a 199 deposit, right? Now, the reason you do this is because, one, you want people to feel like they've already bought something by the time they come onto the onboarding call, because then you don't have to sell them, right? And you know that all the people that are coming onto the onboarding call, they're all already clients. So even if after the onboarding call they say, well, I would really like to meet 3 times a week, then I can say, okay, no problem. It's going to be $799 or it's going to be an extra $600 to sign up for that, right? So by taking the deposit up front, first I turn them into a buyer before they've, officially accepted. And I say, you can say fully refundable deposit on your onboarding call if you don't feel like our program is a fit for you. You can do all that stuff, but it puts them in the buyer's mindset that they've already bought something. So the chances of them asking for a refund are significantly diminished. After this, your next step would be to go, and again, because this is all we're still doing, one-on-one onboarding calls, and that can be a challenge, and still, like, we're trying to scale this as much as possible. So we still start with the landing page, then we push into tiered sign up. And then onboarding. The problem most people have when they launch a business is they start here. This doesn't work, because, one, when you first start, you don't have any testimonials, right? So what are you putting on that page? There's literally nothing you can put on that page that is going to be compelling enough to get someone to sit on that page, compare your tiered offerings, and make a purchase decision, right? You also don't even know if your tiers work yet, because you haven't gone through all of this. So what you really need to make sure you do is, when you're building all of this stuff out, you need to focus on making sure that every part of this process is well defined before you get to the point where you're putting tiers on your page. Like, make sure that when you put those tiers on your page, they need to be rock solid. This is what the tiers are. This is what it costs, right? Because what you want is that instant gratification of someone signing up and then automatically getting onboarded, right? And now you don't have to touch this process at all. Okay. This only works with low ticket, right? This is low ticket or high ticket. Doesn't matter. This right here, low ticket or high ticket. This is only low ticket. Doing something like this right here, this third option for a high ticket, is just a recipe for disaster. It's just not going to work. Even the companies, so one of the companies that specializes in, or I wouldn't say specialize, but uses this and has funnels, is Outsource Creative Services. So this is a different type of business than coaching entirely. It's different than what I do. But it is one of my competitors when considering the coaching program, because what they do is they'll have 3 tiers, right? So we'll just draw this. And they'll have, creative tier 1, creative tier 2, creative tier 3. And usually what their big differentiator is the volume of creative, right? So we'll just do volume creative times 2, volume creative times 4, right? And so essentially what you're paying for is, well, how many videos do you want? How many graphic design projects do you want? How many websites do you want? And there's 1,000,001 different companies that do this. But this, companies like this are pricing in the 400, 800, 1,600 ballpark, right? And you can, there's Floxy is one out there. BuzzCube is one. Design Pickle. They all work on this kind of model. Even companies like that are charging $1,600, which clearly that's a high ticket purchase, especially on a monthly basis, because these are not one-offs. This is a monthly reoccurring thing. Even these aren't expecting you to just drop and put in a credit card. They all have the book a call button. Every single one of them. Because they know that before someone signs up for something that's going to ding their Amex $1,600 a month, they want to know who they're dealing with. They've got questions. Hey, can you deal with this? I have this. Here's my brand standards. Can you do this? Are you, do you speak German? Like whatever. They're going to have questions. They're not going to just like sign up for something for $1,600. Will some people? Of course. Some people will go on a sales call and then not sign up right away and then wait to pay their credit card bill and then sign up. So that's an important reason to have it on. Some people will just be super impulsive and be like, yeah, this sounds exactly what I need. Sign up. Most people are going to have that sales call. So when we go back to talking about, what is your process need to look like? If you're starting, come on. I wish I could understand why this doesn't work. It's just so odd. Oh, that didn't work at all. Okay. Well, whatever. This option right here of, your, oh my gosh, there we go. Come on. I've got to figure out why this happens. Yeah. All right. So this option right here, where you have a landing page pushing to a tiered sign up, or a landing page that hosts a tiered sign up that they have to choose and auto onboarded, you're only ever going to be able to do this with low ticket. Ideally, you want it $99 or cheaper. I even had a hard time when we were first starting out. I still had to do sales calls for the $99 because I couldn't put enough stuff on that $99 sales page to convince people to sign up just by themselves. It took me years to figure out how to structure my offer in a way that would actually make people sign up on one of those pages. And the irony is by the time I figured out exactly what I needed to put on the page, I raised the prices so it could no longer have a conversion on the page. I'm excited now that I get to, obviously my offer has changed, so I have to change some of those some of the copy on the page, but I'm actually going to be able to go back out and take a stab at this. That said, even though I've been in this business for 3 years, even though I know my customers back, left, and center, even though I've done 500 sales calls over the past 3 years, it doesn't change the fact that I'm still starting at this phase. Like, I'm not jumping ahead to this because this is where you lose your money. That is where all money goes to die. Like, the number of people who've come through my program who they've tried to make this work over and over and over, and it hasn't worked and hasn't worked and hasn't worked, but they haven't done either of these two steps here. It's astounding. It's astounding how many people skip these steps. But this is really it. This is all you have to do. You just have to follow this first and then do this. And this is the big, like, if you follow Russell Brunson or any of those guys, they all push this kind of like mentality, or like Russell's big into like the application funnel. But the reality is starting with a simple ad, a simple landing page, a call booker, and a sales call is the quickest way to grow any type of coaching business, any type of consulting business. So like really what I want you to take away from this is don't rush to go and build this long-term, totally automated, touchless process, because there's a high likelihood you're going to fail at it, especially if you haven't done any of this pre-work. So where are we time-wise? 3:09. So I got a little bit of time left. So let's see. Now it's scrolling just fine. I don't get why that is. Let's see. We'll just create a new page. All right. So far, we've talked about why we're pricing this as a low ticket and not a high ticket. We've talked about how we're going to structure our like flow, right? From the time they land to the page, what are they seeing? We've talked about what is included in all of this. The last piece of this is, what does paid media look like for low ticket? I think there's a couple of things. We talked about the workshop model, and I went through kind of how to write an offer. So I won't go through all of that again. If you want to check out last week's live stream, I went into a lot of that in a lot more detail. But I do think there's some things that you should be very crystal clear about when you're talking. So the first thing is when we talk about a low ticket offer, just because a lot of people can afford it does not mean you should suddenly expand your net, right? Don't feel it like, oh, well, this is now the top of the funnel because it's lower ticket, so I should have more and more people. You still want just this targeted number of people coming through the funnel. So when we're looking at this, let's say I'm going to go after coaches and consultants, right? So that's a broad market. And you know what? On another ad that I would be pitching high ticket, I could probably do that. But because I'm pitching low ticket, I want to go one level deeper. So I don't want to go coaches and consultants because that's going to get me a lot of people that are already successful. I want to go new coaches. Sorry, there's some weird radio being broadcast in my house. I don't know where it's coming from. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm going to go after new coaches and consultants because let's face it, a new coach or consultant, they're just building their practice. They're perfect for coaching themselves. They probably don't know what they're doing. It would help them to learn from someone who's already built six-figure coaching businesses. So that's a better market, right? So I'm not going to go after the broad. I'm going to go after new coaches, right? Or I could even say like would-be coaches, or have you ever thought of started your coaching business but didn't know where to start? So like that's another thing is like wannabe coaches, right? So then we could look at let's see. So what's the big pain, right? The pain is going to be not sure where to start, right? And then we're going to say, what is the big solution that we're offering? Well, we're offering, daily, personalized guidance. Okay. And what's the context? Well, I've built these businesses before. And for those of you who weren't here last Tuesday, some of this might be going over your head in terms of how I'm breaking this down. But essentially, what I'm doing here is this is my audience. This is my pain point. This is the solution. I'm doing these a little out of order. Sorry. This is the solution. This is the context. Then we have the social proof of the coaching businesses I've helped build. And then we have the price and the call to action. And so when we talk about price, here's what I want you to think about. The price that you can put out into the world in an ad or a landing page or anything like that. There's certain things that are easy to change and certain things that are hard to change. Ads are harder to change, right? You have to take the ad campaign down, reshoot the ad, put it back up. So if you want to tinker with your price points, which I do encourage you to do, it's better to keep those price points on something like a landing page where you can instantly update them rather than an ad. So how do we talk about price in an ad? Again, because this is kind of what we're building here is we're saying, well, how do we communicate the value here? well, how do we talk about the price without talking about the price? Well, we can say things like, for less than a cup, for less than, no, I don't want to do the daily. The cup of coffee is so played out. Everybody uses that. For less than, I like this one. Night out with your friends. So for less than a night out with your friends, you can afford this, right? And at the $200 price point, again, because we're targeting that lower price point initially, that's pretty affordable. It's still, people go out with their friends, they're probably going to spend close to like $200 or $300, for a special occasion, not like just a, Friday with the boys. They're probably not going to try to spend $200 then, but if this is someone's birthday party or, bachelorette party or something like that. And then your call to action is simple. It's click to learn more or apply or what have you. Right. So if I know all of these elements about my audience, if I know that, this is the audience I'm going after and this is their pain and here's the solution I'm proposing and here's the context of why I'm qualified to deliver this solution and here's the proof that I'm qualified to deliver the solution, that my solution works, and then I have I know how to phrase my price so that I can tinker it, because remember, if I say for less than a night out with your friends, it could be $100 a month, it could be $200, it could be $400 a month, because you can still justify, well, if you're going out for something really, if you're going out in a major city, and I would go out in New York with my friends, it wouldn't be uncommon to spend $300 in a night because New York's expensive, right? Versus here in Pennsylvania, if you spend you better have a pretty good night if you're spending $300 a night. So once you have all this stuff, then it becomes time to just write it. It's not really that difficult. So that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to show you in real time. I did this last week for a workshop, but I figure this is just kind of a natural next step for this. So give me a second. I got to change over everything. Hello. I'm giant on the screen again. And I'm just going to write this from scratch just so you see how I put this together. All right. All right, so I got that going and we'll share. And this time I'm not going to forget to actually share it. So let's see here. Share that. And there we go. Cool. And we'll just do a little bit of, so we're just going to call this low ticket. I'll make this nice and big so you can see it. Where I 3 years? I think 3 years. 4 years. 4 years. That's 4 years. I've run 6 figures where I've helped other coaches and so on. Scale from 0 to their first 6 figures. Do this through personalized approach to coaching. Most approach coaching daily touch points with my students. No course. There's no course. Substitute teachers. No. Your own. Every step of the way. We got you every step of the way. Us. Step of the way. That's process I used to build my own dozens of businesses. Just like yeah, for a membership fee. For a membership fee. That fits into any budget. I want, again, I don't want to go out and say exactly how much I charge in case I need to change the pricing. But as long as I have general guidance, that's based on the principle of I'm trying to make this accessible to everybody, saying, hey, it's going to fit into every budget. Totally doable. You're ready. Turn for dream into reality. Click the button below. And apply to join our exclusive coaching and consulting. We only accept 30 coaches at a time. Don't. And I'm not even going to say that because honestly, I already have like 20. So I'm going to say we only have room this month for 10 new coaches. Don't miss your opportunity to accelerate your growth. This opportunity to accelerate your growth. Okay. Launch. I don't know. Guys. We only have room for. We only have room this month for 10 new coaches. Don't miss your opportunity. Launch with us. Launch. To click the button below to apply to join our coaching consulting community. We only have room this month for 10 new coaches, so don't miss this opportunity. And spots fill up fast. Don't miss this opportunity. Turn your passion into action. From this month, 10 new coaches possible, so don't miss the opportunity to accelerate your dreams. So now what I will do is, not today because my throat's kind of sore. I've been talking all day. But I'll record this. I will throw it up on TikTok, and I'll send it out to my I'll send it out to a cold audience and see how many people I can get to the page. One other thing I'll show you before we wrap up here, because I know we're kind of at yeah, but I got a little bit more time, so I'll just show you this before we go. Is I'll show you a little sneak peek of what my new landing pages look like for this offer. And where is it? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong place. That would be why. Okay. Just give me a second. I forgot I was moving some of my stuff elsewhere in my ecosystem. And okay. So this is, we built it in Groove. I bought Groove a long time ago, and while I'm not at a place where I would recommend it because I've been through a lot of grief with them over the years, I am at a place where I'm pretty happy with the way these turned out. So I will just open this one up. So this is the page, right? And so we have, this is actually a placeholder for a video. So there's going to be a video here. And there's some branding here that we need to tweak because we're, again, taking out some of these like creative services and stuff. We're leaving some in. I didn't go through everything that's going to be included, but here's really like what this is going to look like. And so you'll notice that when we get to the end of the page, there is no tiers. Even though I have tiers, there's no tiers here because, where is it? So again, we have all this stuff that, I have to go in and make tweaks. But where is it? I'm just trying to look for the, oh yeah, right here. So like this is going to be a like the order form right here, and it's going to pitch to the $3.99 offer. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to really do the same thing I said, where it's essentially like, instead of saying join now, it's going to be apply now. It's going to take the $1.99 as the initial like payment, or the $3.99. I haven't decided which direction to go with that yet in terms of the deposit. It'll be the application funnel there. Apply. We'll do an onboarding call and all that. Now, what I'm going to do is if they go to exit this page, I'm going to send them to another page that talks about our ultra low offer, which is the 99 sign up. So the 99 sign up is this page. Oh no, it's not this page. No, disregard that. Let me see. I think that was just a thing I was playing with. So that doesn't have anything to do with it. I think it's this here. Yeah, this right here. Okay. So this is the ultra low offer. And we're still working on this. This is still very much like stock imagery and stuff that we have to replace. But that is and so there's some things here, like we have this like lifetime thing that we did when we first built this page, and we changed that. There's no longer a lifetime access. So if you bought it, congrats, but otherwise you missed your opportunity. But like we have to change this, but this is essentially going to be like the $1.99 page. So it's for that person that sees the price initially and they go, it's too much, I can't do it. We still have that opportunity to say like, well, listen, you can't do the $3.99. Why don't you do the $1.99? And then the $7.99 then becomes an upsell during that onboarding, where it's like, well, listen, your thing comes with 2 a week. It comes with this, this, and this. If you need these other services, these other creative services, then that's the $7.99 package. And I can do that because I am only saying in the application that it's just a deposit, right? We're gonna find it and put you in the right position once, or the right plan once we have that call. But you need to show a sense of good faith and put up the money first to make sure that like we're not wasting our time talking to somebody who's not ready to commit. That said, I like, I think I talked about on the Big View thing I did last week, for any of you that watched that, like I enjoy talking to people that just because they can't like buy a service from me. I'm not trying to say like that those were a waste of time or anything, because I enjoy those. I mean, I talked to some people last week that I had really, they're not in a place to buy, but I had really good conversations with them. They were, it was informative into how I position some of my offers. However, at the end of the day, we do need to become more efficient, right? The more clients I have, the less time I have. So I need to make sure that every step in the process is as efficient as possible. And one of the big things that we hope to see in this efficiency is that as I run a program like this, and as I'm doing marketing and PR and all of this stuff, is that I can push people directly to that page and have them commit to a deposit. And if that doesn't work, if we launch these ads and it falls on its face, well, then we got to go back to that step one and do them on sales calls. I'm not opposed to that. I am opposed to it from the sense of, well, I want to, shore up the high ticket business first before I go after coaching. But I'm also not, I'm not greedy enough, or I'm not greedy enough. I'm not willing to just say, well, I'm not going to do any sales calls to sell coaching anymore. That has to be automated, because at the end of the day, if I don't have people in the program, then what's the point of the program? Right. So it's a balancing act you have to go through, but I hope this has been kind of instructive into why I like a low ticket coaching program, why I had so much success with it. Yeah, it's not going to make you a millionaire. Like it's just, it can't, the structure, the cost, and the number of people you'd have to help in a low ticket program consistently month after month is just, it would be incredible to be able to make $1 million. And even then, you're probably not providing a great deal of feedback to someone like that. Now, there is something to be said about like an ultra low, like a Laurel Porte $5 a month thing. I've considered those, but even she has said that if she had to go back and do it, she wouldn't do it, because it's a tremendous amount of work, and the numbers just don't really work out. Like it's just such a big investment in time. The one last thing I'll mention is like stuff like live streaming, where you can get patrons to subscribe to you and give you $5, I think is like the Twitch rate for like a subscription. Is like, if you really don't feel like you can sell, or you really feel like, hey, you want to share information, live streaming is a great way to get that stuff out, but and not feel the need to necessarily charge for it. So some people feel like they need validation before they can start charging. And if that's the case, I would encourage you to do stuff like this. Find an audience through live streaming, find an audience through social, try to teach people, get some results, and then you'll feel better about yourself charging any price, high ticket or low ticket. So with that, guys, thanks for joining today. I hope this was informative. I'm sorry if we had some technical issues, but anyway, have a great rest of your week. I don't think we're doing the Thursday stream, so I will see you next Tuesday. Have a good one.